A lone human man, Evan Carter, steps out of his crashed shuttle on a hostile alien moon. The air is silent, until a towering alien warrior woman appears, armored, armed, and ready to kill. But the moment she sees his face, she freezes. Her spear trembles, her eyes widen, and she whispers, You look exactly like my husband." Evan wakes after a crash, oxygen low, comms dead. He wanders through red dust and floating rock shards. Strange symbols glow across the valley, warning signs he cannot read. A huge shadow blocks the light. The alien warrior woman, General Saraxa, stands over him. Muscular, tall, violet skin, glowing amber eyes. She raises her energy spear, then stops when she sees his face. She whispers that he looks like her dead husband, General Chiron, a hero of her species. She thinks Evan might be a clone, a trick, or a weapon sent by her enemies. Her people believe Chiron died long ago, burned in battle. Yet Evan shares Chiron's face, voice tone, even a small scar. Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The crash site was silent except for the ticking of hot metal cooling under a thin, red sky. Evan Carter pushed himself up from the cracked floor panels of the wrecked shuttle, coughing out smoke. His head hurt, and a ringing noise echoed in his ears, but at least he was alive. The ship was not. Flames crawled up the sides of the engine like hungry fingers. He staggered out through the broken hull, boots sinking into soft red dust. Strange floating stones drifted in the air around him, defying gravity, rotating slowly as if pulled by some unseen force. The place looked nothing like any moon or planet he knew. It felt wrong, heavy, watching. Evan wiped blood from his forehead. No signal, no food, no water, he muttered. Perfect. He checked his wrist device. The screen flickered once, then died. The crash had damaged it beyond use. The wind blew against his face, warm and dry, carrying a metallic smell he could not describe. He looked around. No trees, no animals, only distant black mountains and tall spiked rocks rising like broken teeth. Then he saw the symbols. Large glowing signs etched into the ground. Circle shapes, sharp angles. They pulsed with a blue light. Evan stepped around them carefully. Warning signs, probably, he said to himself. And here I am walking right through them. He did not realize he had entered a sacred zone. He felt it before he heard it, a deep vibration in the air, like the ground held its breath. Evan stopped moving. The dust around his boots stiffened, as though frozen in time. He slowly looked up. A shadow moved above him. Something huge jumped from a cliff and landed 20 feet away. Shaki. NG the ground. Dust exploded outward in a ring. Evan stepped back, heart pounding. A tall figure stood in the swirling dust, almost twice his height, strong and broad like a statue carved from stone. The figure held a long double-bladed spear that hummed with energy. As the dust cleared, Evan finally saw her face. An alien woman, skin a deep violet color, marked with glowing silver lines that ran from her temples to her jaw. Her eyes burned gold like molten metal. Armor covered her body, made of scales that shifted colors with every breath. A warrior, a killer, a legend made real. Evan froze. She didn't move at first. She simply watched him with eyes that showed a lifetime of battle, and a hint of disbelief. Then she raised her spear. Evan lifted his hands slowly. Hey, easy. I don't want trouble. She didn't answer. She took one step forward. The spear tip pointed at his throat. Another step. Another. Her shadow fell over him. Evan tried not to breathe too fast. He felt like a small animal trapped in front of a predator. Her voice came out deep and controlled, each word sharp like a blade. Human, she said. Evan swallowed. Yes. She stared at him longer, eyes narrowing. Then she tilted her head slightly, as if confused. The spear trembled in her hands. The air grew tense. And then, her eyes widened. The spear dropped 2 inches. Her lips parted in shock as she whispered something that made Evan's blood run cold. You look exactly like my husband. Evan blinked. I'm sorry, what? She stepped back, as if afraid. No, this is not real. This is a trick, she said, voice cracking for the first time. You cannot be him. He died. He burned. And yet, she moved closer again, studying his face, his jawline, his eyes, even a small scar above his brow. Your face, she whispered. Every detail is the same. Evan stood still, too shocked to respond. The warrior finally lowered her spear completely. I am Saraxa, general of the Kali Empire, she said. And you carry the face of General Chiron, the strongest warrior of my people. My husband. Evan felt his heart beat faster. A dead husband, a general, and he looked like him. This is a misunderstanding, Evan said. I'm not. Silence. Her eyes hardened. You speak with his voice too. She circled him slowly, like someone examining a ghost. Then something changed. Her confusion turned into suspicion. She pointed the spear at him again, this time colder than before. Tell me what you are. Evan raised his hands. I'm a human pilot. I crashed here. I swear, I'm not whoever you. Lies. Her voice shook the air. Did the Zarians create you? Did they shape you to break my mind? Did they clone him from ash? I don't even know who the Zarians are. Evan shouted back. Saraxa's eyes flashed with uncertainty. He wasn't trained to fight an alien general. He wasn't a soldier. He was an engineer who fixed ships for a living. And this woman looked like she could break mountains with her hands. But something about Evan's fear looked honest. Humans had many weaknesses, and lies were easy to see, especially to a warrior who had interrogated countless enemies. So she hesitated. Your fear, it is real, she muttered. She turned the spear sideways and finally lowered it. For now, human, she said coldly, you live. Evan exhaled shakily, but her eyes never left him. She was still watching, still judging, still unsure. She circled behind him, then back around to his front, like she was searching for a flaw. You are not him, she whispered. Your posture is weaker. Your hands are softer. You smell human. Thanks, I guess. She ignored the comment. If you are not Chiron reborn, then why does your face carry his shape? She demanded. I don't know, Evan said honestly. I really don't. She stared at him for a long moment. Then she spoke again, but her voice was softer, almost tired. There is only one place where the truth can be known. The Temple of Chiron. Evan frowned. Temple? She nodded once. A sacred place. A place only I am allowed to enter. She pointed at him. And now you. Before he could argue, she grabbed his arm. Her grip felt like iron. She pulled him across the rocky ground with ease, leading him toward a distant canyon where black stone pillars spiraled toward the sky. Wait, Evan said, struggling to keep up. Are you sure this is a good idea? You will come, she said simply. Or I will carry you. That shut him up. They walked across the quiet moon, past broken ruins half buried in dust. Evan felt eyes on him, statues, carvings, and strange holograms of warriors long dead. Symbols glowed on the ground as they walked. Saraxa moved with confidence, following a path only she understood. At last, they reached a massive stone doorway. Carvings showed a tall warrior with a spear, face stern, proud, strong. Evan stared at the carving. It looked like him, not similar, not close, exact. He stepped back. Okay, that's creepy. Saraxa didn't respond. She placed her palm on the stone. It glowed under her touch and opened with a deep rumble. Inside, the temple was silent. Statues lined the walls. Each one was of the same man, the same face. Evan felt sick. The entire temple felt like a tomb dedicated to someone he had never met but somehow wore the face of. Saraxa walked ahead, her footsteps echoing. She stopped before a huge statue of Chiron, standing in a beam of blue light. Touch it, she ordered. Evan shook his head. No, why, touch it? He sighed, walked forward, and placed high. Hand on the statue's cold stone surface. At first, nothing happened. Then the statue glowed. The blue light spread across its surface like veins awakening. The ground shook. A deep chime echoed through the hall. Saraxa fell to one knee, shocked. No, that is impossible. A hologram exploded from the statue, a tall glowing figure, speaking in a language Evan didn't understand. But Saraxa did. Her eyes widened as she listened. Finally, she whispered the translation. It says, the returner has come. Evan backed away. Returner? Returner of what? Sarax's voice shook. Returner of the Empire's fate. Returner of balance. Returner of war. She lifted her head and stared at him with something between fear and awe. You are tied to Chiron. Whether you are him reborn, or something else. Evan felt his stomach twist. I don't want to be tied to anything, he said. Saraxa stood. It is too late. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang through the temple. The blue lights turned crimson. The floor trembled. Saraxa grabbed her spear. Her voice changed instantly from confused wife to hardened general. They found us. Evan's eyes widened. Who found us? She pointed toward the temple entrance where shadows moved. "The Zarians, our enemy, they will kill you on sight." The roof cracked. Dust fell in thick clouds. A blast of energy burst through the doorway, breaking ancient stone. Saraxa stepped in front of Evan, spear ready. "Stay behind me," she growled. "Do not run." More explosions hit the temple. More soldiers poured in. Saraxa's golden eyes turned fierce. She shouted one last thing at Evan as enemy boots thundered toward them. "If they take you, human, they will destroy everything." The ceiling collapsed as armored warriors stormed the hall. The Temple of Chiron roared with the sound of battle. Dust rained from the ceiling as the walls shook under repeated blasts. Evan covered his head as broken stone shattered across the floor. The once silent hall now felt like the heart of a storm. Saraxa planted her feet, spear blazing with golden light. Enemy soldiers poured through the broken entrance, dark armor, sharp helmets, glowing red eyes. Their movements were fast and coordinated, like hunters who had smelled blood. Her voice cut through the chaos. "Evan, behind me." She didn't have to say it twice. Evan ducked behind a half-collapsed pillar as Saraxa charged forward with a roar that shook the air. Her spear sliced in wide arcs, sending waves of crackling energy through the hall. Soldiers flew backwards, smashing into walls and pillars. She moved like she had been trained since birth, every strike strong, precise, deadly. But the enemies kept coming. Blasters fired. Beams burned across the temple, illuminating ancient carvings with vile, red light. Evan flinched every time a shot passed close to his head. Saraxa blocked a blast with her spear, flipped over a fallen statue, and impaled the nearest soldier through the chest. Her movements were brutal and beautiful at the same time. She fought like a storm wearing armor. But even Evan could see she was outnumbered, even for her strength. He crawled toward a different pillar, trying to stay low. A soldier noticed him and aimed. Evan froze. Before the shot fired, Saraxa ripped the soldier off his feet with the spear and slammed him into the ground so hard the floor cracked. She snarled. "No one touches him." Evan wiped sweat from his forehead. "This is insane. Why do they care about me?" Saraxa gritted her teeth, blocking 2 more shots. "Because if you are the returner, you are the key to ending everything." "Great," Evan muttered. "I was hoping I'd just fix ships for a living." The battle raged, but slowly, too slowly, Saraxa began to tire. Her swings grew heavier, her breathing sharper. A strike grazed her shoulder, burning armor and skin. She hissed but didn't stop. A loud metallic clang echoed. A larger shadow entered the temple. The enemy troops backed away, forming a path. Evan peeked from behind the pillar as a tall figure stepped forward. He was even larger than Saraxa. His armor was black and sharp-edged, with a glowing red crest. His eyes burned bright under a metal crown-like helmet. Saraxa's grip tightened on her spear. "Vrax," she growled. "Commander Vrax, leader of the Zarian strike forces." His voice echoed like thunder. "You should have stayed in exile, Saraxa." She snarled. "You should have stayed dead." He ignored the insult. His eyes shifted toward Evan. "Bring him to me." Evan froze. Soldiers moved toward him. Saraxa leaped in front of them, blocking their path. "You will not touch him." Vrax tilted his head, still protecting ghosts. "He is not Chiron," she snapped. "He is human." Vrax took one long step forward. Evan felt a weight press on him, like Vrax's presence alone was crushing. "Then why," Vrax said slowly, "does he wear Chiron's face?" Saraxa didn't answer, jaw clenched. Vrax raised a hand. A holographic screen appeared, showing an image of Chiron, Saraxa's husband, standing in the same temple from years ago. Even from a distance, the face was unmistakable. It was Evan's. Vrax looked at Evan again. "Impossible," he whispered. "We saw Chiron fall. We saw his body burn." Evan stepped backward. "I'm not him." Vrax ignored him. "His DNA, his structure, even his reflection is the same." He lifted a hand at Saraxa. "So tell me, General, is this human a rebirth, or a weapon your empire has created?" Saraxa glared. "He came from the sky in a crashed shuttle. I found him by accident." Vrax gave a cold laugh. "There are no accidents in war." Evan raised his voice. "Hey, I'm right here. And I don't know anything about your husband, your war, or any of this." Vrax stared at him. "And yet you activate the temple. A place Chiron alone could command." Evan had no answer. His heart pounded painfully. Saraxa stepped between them. "Commander, if you touch him, you will force a war neither side can win." "Good." Vrax said. War is inevitable. Then he pointed at Evan. And he decides which side wins. The room paused in silence. Evan felt cold. Vrax lowered his voice. Chiron carried ancient blood, a rare line from the first conquerors. His genes controlled the old machines, the weapons that shaped our history. And this human, Vrax whispered, can do the same. Evan stared. I don't want to control anything. Unfortunately, Vrax said, destiny does not ask what you want. Saraxa snarled. He is not a tool. Then what is he? Vrax snapped. A ghost, a mistake, a miracle. Saraxa stepped closer. Her voice softened despite the danger. He is alive. That is all that matters. Evan felt something strange, a connection. She wasn't just protecting him because he looked like her dead husband. Something in her eyes told him his life mattered on its own. But Vrax lifted his massive blade, red energy sparking along its edge. This ends today. Saraxa raised her spear. The two titans charged. The clash shook the temple. Sparks exploded from their weapons. Evan could only watch helplessly as the two warriors fought with strength that broke stone. Saraxa moved fast, striking at Vrax's legs and sides, but he blocked with brutal force. Vrax countered, sending shockwaves through the floor. Saraxa skidded back, boots carving grooves in the stone. Evan shouted, "Stop! You'll destroy this place." Neither listened. Vrax swung his blade down. Saraxa blocked, but the impact knocked her across the floor. She crashed through a pillar and fell hard, armor cracked. Saraxa. Evan ran toward her. Vrax stepped into his path. Evan backed away, trembling. This is your fault, Vrax growled. Your face. Your existence. You bring chaos wherever you stand. Evan shook his head hard. I didn't choose this. I just wanted to survive. Vrax raised his blade to strike. A blast of blue light erupted between them. The ground cracked. Dust flew upward in a spiral. The temple reacted. The statue of Chiron glowed again, brighter than before. The air buzzed with ancient energy. A deep voice spoke in the alien language. A recording, a prophecy, something beyond Evan's understanding. Saraxa forced herself to stand. The temple, it is choosing. Vrax snarled. Choosing what? Evan stumbled back as blue lines appeared under his feet, glowing symbol. S forming around him like a circle of light. The voice boomed louder. Saraxa translated, barely breathing the words. The returner chooses peace or destruction. And the Empire bends to his choice. Vrax roared in anger. No human will rule my fate. He charged toward Evan. Saraxa intercepted him, slamming her spear into his chest. He fell back, armor sparking. She grabbed Evan's shoulders. Listen to me, she said. You must choose. I don't know what that means. She gripped his face gently. Do not choose a side. Choose what is right. The blue light surrounded Evan completely. The ancient machine awakened beneath the temple floor. Mechanisms shifted, hums grew louder, and a beam rose beneath Evan, lifting him slightly off the ground. He felt something inside him, like a memory, but not his own. A voice whispering, a battle, a promise, a face that looked like his staring back at him. Chiron's voice. End it, the whisper said. Evan closed his eyes. When he opened them, the blue light exploded outward, filling the entire temple in a blinding wave. Every weapon in the room shut down instantly. Vrax's blade flickered and died. Blasters melted in soldiers' hands. Energy shields collapsed like dust. The power wave spread beyond the temple, sweeping across the valley. For the first time in years, the battlefield between their empires fell silent. Saraxa stared in awe. Vrax stared in horror. Evan fell to his knees. The glow faded. The machine powered down. The temple was quiet again. Saraxa knelt beside him. Evan, what did you do? He shook his head weakly. I don't know. I just wanted the fighting to stop. Vrax took one step forward. His armor smoked. His weapon useless. He looked at Evan with both hatred and fear. You have doomed us, he whispered. Without weapons, without armies, the balance is broken. Saraxa rose, spear still crackling faintly. No, Vrax. A new balance begins. Vrax hissed. You protect him now, but one day, Saraxa, he will destroy you too. He turned and limped out with his remaining soldiers. They didn't attack. They didn't even look back at Evan. They were afraid. Saraxa helped Evan to his feet. Her touch was surprisingly gentle for someone so strong. You are not Chiron, she said softly. But you carry a part of him. Not blood, not memory, something deeper. I don't want that, Evan whispered. I want to go home. She looked away, her face filled with a mix of sorrow and resolve. You cannot, she said. Not now, not yet. Why? She pointed at the shattered doorway, where the sky rolled with dark clouds. Because after today, she said, every empire in this system will hunt you. To use you, or to destroy you. Evan felt his stomach twist. Saraxa turned to him, placing a heavy hand on his shoulder. But I will protect you, she promised. With my life. Evan stared at the alien sky, the silent battlefield, and the glowing temple behind him. He whispered, voice trembling, what am I supposed to do? Saraxa answered with a calm, steady voice. Become the man destiny thinks you are. Evan looked at her, at the empty horizon, at the ruins around him, and he knew his real journey had only begun.